Welcome and welcome back to Be Extra Knitting. This is Be Extra. Be brave, be proud of what you knit, love what you knit, knit what you love. And today, I have another special guest. So I am starting the interview series of our LGBTQIA plus designers, makers, leading up to the month of June. And during the month of June, we will have this Pride Pot Mall, as you can see here. And in the month of June, anyone who is interested in joining the Make Along, you can go over to the Ravelry group. So the Ravelry group is also Pride Pot Mall, and you can look at the list of the designers, the makers that you can choose their design or their yarn that you want to work with. So and then join us during the make along until the end of the month. And at the end of the month, I will come up with some giveaways. So before the month of June, what I'm trying to do is to highlight some of the designers, some of the makers that have say or volunteered to come to the channel. So today we have Jules, and I will let Jules introduce themselves. And on May 18th, we have Kat from Cesium Yarn, and June 1st, we have Rick from Whimsy Stitches. So without further ado, let's welcome Jules. So I will remove that and I will add Jules here. Hi, how are you?
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm good. Uh, so again, to just for everyone, this is our first time to meet with each other. So basically, we found each other from the list of designers, podcaster from that Pride Pot Mall list. So Jules, please introduce yourself. How to say your name? I might have said it wrong, but please let us know. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you were perfect. I'm Jules. I use she, her pronouns. My business is Juliette Pécaut Designs. I'm a knitwear designer based in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm really happy to be here today.
Nice. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how to say pronounce your last name. So now I know that is Juliette Pecco.
Pécaut,
So
yeah,
Peck. All
French.
right. All right. Nice. So okay. So again, thank you for joining me here, and let's start with introducing yourself. Oh, so you're currently living in Boston and you're a designer.
Mhm.
So how did you get into designing? So I've checked your patterns. So mostly knit, or do you have any like other crochet or yeah, yeah, whatever you want to
Yeah.
share.
Mostly knitting. I do also do some crochet myself, but I don't design crochet. I leave that to the experts. I learned to knit when I was a child. My grandmother taught me, and so I've been knitting my whole life. And a few years ago, I just started writing my own patterns. I realized that I never really followed patterns exactly. I would buy a pattern and then just make so many modifications that it hardly was the same pattern anymore. And so I realized that my real passion is actually designing the patterns themselves. And so that's how I got started.
Yeah, you see, every time I talk to designers or knitwear designers, I always get the same idea that they never, really enjoy following pattern, line per line. They like to incorporate, their own thoughts on it, and or maybe change the shape or the size to really fit your body. So No, I'm the same way. I don't call myself a designer, but I like to make my own stuff. So, and
Yeah.
hey, maybe I will start also. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so that part I'm really excited. Tell me, how was it? Your first design, like was it scary for you, meaning that okay, people will start to know you, they will come with some feedback, definitely, right? And how was
Yeah.
it, like did you start with something simple, or do you go right away to a knitwear?
Yeah, I started with my first design was actually very simple. I believe it was in 2018. It was a triangle shawl with just a little lace border. And I actually don't offer that design anymore. I discontinued the majority of my first like 2 years worth of designs
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't feel I evolved a lot as a designer since then, and I didn't feel like they were quite up to scratch anymore. So I don't sell those patterns anymore.
Okay.
But I did. I started very simple with a couple of like basic triangle shawls and very simple designs. I did a few garments, but again, they weren't. I didn't really know what I was doing, so they weren't graded very well. The sizing was a little off. So I have since then taken some grading courses, and I'm now much more confident in the sizing of my garments. So I feel much better about sharing those with people.
Yeah. That's another direction that I really would love to follow up. So, grading this class. Do
Mhm.
you find a grading class, online or in person? And how important is that in your designing process?
Yeah, so I found an online course from Julie Robinson. She has worked in the fashion industry, and she's a
Uh-huh.
knitwear designer and teacher as well. And she offers it's called Pattern Grading Boot Camp, and it's for knit and crochet patterns. And she really goes through very thoroughly how to read different size charts, which size charts to pick, um, how to use spreadsheets to then take those size charts and then use that to grade your pattern for multiple sizes. And that was just a really valuable resource. Julie is very knowledgeable, and it was really helpful to see her system and to get some feedback from her about how to grade patterns appropriately so that they can um, fit people well, really.
Yeah, no. And that's really nice. And I assume you also have some test knitters of
Yes.
all different sizes. So tell me, how is the process in finding test knitters with various background, not just the knitting background, but also the size background and all that. Do you focus on making sure you get a good representation of different sizes, or is that like a standardized sizes of when you
Mhm.
grade? Yeah.
Yeah, so I grade for 10 sizes, generally from a 30-inch bust to a 64-inch bust. And I try to find testers for all of my sizes. And I have my own email list where I can pull from testers who I've used in the past. And then I also use Instagram to try to reach testers. And there's a great resource. It's an Instagram account called Fat Test Knits, and they
Oh,
will promote patterns that are in testing or looking for testers
uh,
of all different sizes, so that people can be sure to get all along the range and to have a tester for each size. It's very important to me to. I don't like to release a pattern if it hasn't been tested for every single size. Ideally, I would like at least two testers per size as well, because even
right.
people can have the same bust size, but then be completely different shapes. So they'll experience the pattern differently. So I try to find as many testers as I can for each size. And then if I can't find a tester for a certain size, I will often still release the pattern, but with a note saying, these sizes haven't been tested. If you would like to knit the pattern in one of those sizes, please reach out to me and I can give you a free pattern. Um, and that way I can ensure that I'm not I'm not making people pay for something that hasn't been verified.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really nice. I, again, I'm really thankful for all the work that designers have done, before they present their design as for to public, whether it's free or for pay, because those things take a lot of time. And I guess
Absolutely.
that's another thing that keep me away from publishing. I can say my bust circumference is right now 54 inches. So if I'm making multiple samples for, let's say, one one
Yeah.
pattern, I will have to spend at least 3 weeks for one sample. And
It's a lot of
uh,
time, yeah.
that's a lot of time. And then also, you need to go to the different sizes, just to make sure you get everything uh, well thought of. Yeah. So no, thank you so much for doing all this great work. So yeah. All right. So going back to your pattern, so I have looked at a couple of things. I mentioned to you that I got your vest pattern, and I really would like to talk a bit more on that. If you would like
Yeah.
to start with that, I can bring up a picture.
Yeah.
So this one, go ahead, Jules.
Yeah, so this is simply the vest. It was the first garment I released actually after I took that pattern grading course. So I was very
Ah,
excited to release it. It's um, it's just a very simple sort of tank top or vest. I like to wear mine both, as you can see, as a tank top. But
yeah.
then in the colder months, I'll put it over a long sleeve shirt or even a t-shirt. So it's just very versatile. It's probably I think it's my best selling garment pattern.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think people really, it's a good beginner pattern as well. It's just very approachable because it doesn't have sleeves. And so it's a bit quicker to knit, and it's, I think, easier to get the fit right when you don't have to worry about sleeves. So it's a good intro into garment knitting.
Yes, and this is using suggested DK
Yes, yeah. So I used a
yarn.
DK. Yeah, this
Mhm.
was this brown sample here was Leading Men Fiber Arts,
Mhm.
which was really, really nice to work with. So
Yeah, I like your color, how do I say it? Color scheme,
thank you.
on the neutral side. And I so I also mentioned to you before we start the recording, I want to find, a fiber that will go with this pattern. And definitely I want to find fiber from the Pride Pot Mall makers list, but definitely I wanted something on the cream side, um uh, for the fall, the and maybe spring season. But I wonder if linen, it will also work well
Ooh,
with linen. I don't know.
yeah, that could be
But
really interesting. It'll have
yeah.
like that nice drape. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, I never had a vest before, but I've been wanting to have one. And when I saw it from the list of your pet, I'm like, all right, this is something that I want to start. I mean,
Yeah.
I can try make. And also, I went to your Instagram. You have some pictures of, I guess, your friends or maybe your test knitters wearing it during Rhineback.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, we had a little Rhinebeck meetup last year, which was really fun. So
Ah,
I work a lot with Boston Fiber Company here in Boston, and we had a little
okay.
knit along just before Rhinebeck for the vest. So we all got together and knit the vest, and then a lot of us went to Rhinebeck together, and we had a little meetup and took pictures. And And I actually got to meet one of my testers, Ariel. They were there, and I had never met them before, so it was really special. Yeah,
Yeah, was that at the Hill in
yeah,
Rhinebeck?
yes, it was. Yeah,
Yes. The
it was really
popular,
fun.
yeah, the popular meetup point after lunch on a Saturday or during
Exactly.
Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice. So yeah, so definitely I will check that out. Um okay. Uh any what do you where do you want to go next that you want to show in terms of your
Anything I
pattern?
can show. Well, I do have another. I can show another sample actually of that Simply the Best. If you want to see.
Ooh,
This is my
yes.
second sample. Little
Oh, I love
green
that. Yeah,
one.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that one is
which
fun.
fiber is this one?
This is actually this is Honey and Quill fibers. Show it a little better
Okay.
there. Honey and Quill fiber. It's their DK in the color Sagebrush. And
Hmm.
Honey and Quill is actually the dyer. McKenna is a friend of mine. She also works with Boston Fiber Company frequently. It was
Okay.
nice to be able to showcase her yarn in one of my designs as well, because she's a good
S-
friend.
Oh, nice. So tell me more a bit about Boston Fiber Company. Is that a yarn store or is that
Yes.
okay?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a yarn shop in like the artist district of Boston, and
oh,
um, they really showcase local dyers, and they also strongly focus on queer dyers and designers.
oh,
Yeah, and they offer a lot of classes as well, everything from knitting and crochet to needle felting and spinning. So it's a really cool space, and they're big on community. So they have little knit nights and crafting afternoons. It's very fun.
okay. So next time I visit P Town and make a
Yes,
stop at Boston.
yes, yeah. Come see us. Come see us at Boston Fiber Company. Yeah,
Yes. So definitely I'll Google Boston Fiber Company right after this because I've never heard
yeah.
about that. I have a good friend who lives in where is Summer is it Somerville? Is that
Somerville. Yeah,
next?
yeah,
Yeah, close to okay.
yeah,
Yeah, and I always meet her before on my way to P Town, and but
okay, yeah.
we never went to Boston Fiber Company.
It's a little
But
bit of it's in sort of the city center, so it's a little bit
oh,
of a trek from Somerville. I actually live in Somerville myself. I say I live in Boston, but I'm
oh,
actually in Somerville.
I mean it's nearby anyway, right?
Yeah,
Everywhere
yeah,
in that area. Yeah. Okay. Next time, definitely I will go.
yeah.
Um, and okay, so this is my second favorite
Yeah,
of your pattern. And definitely I will try that also. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. This one was really fun. This is the Versailles scarf. Oh, sorry, my cat
Yes.
is sitting
Oh,
in my lap and
yeah.
she's trying to eat my
Please.
scarf. Um, the Versailles scarf. So I was inspired by there was a lot of trending of little skinny scarves, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
that it would just be a really fun. It's so quick and easy. It's a great way to use up mini skeins or scraps. And I found this lace pattern in
Okay.
one of my stitch dictionaries, and the pattern
Yeah.
is called the Versailles lace pattern.
Versailles
Um,
Light.
so I just used that to make the scarf, and then decided to call it the Versailles scarf. Um, and this is with Knit Picks gloss, which is their silk
Fingering.
merino, yeah, in fingering weight. So it's very drapey, it's very soft,
I
it's
know. I
very
love it.
yeah, it's very very nice. And this is fun actually because it's knit long ways. So you cast on, like 140 stitches,
Oh.
and then
Okay.
you only knit like 30 rows. Yeah.
30 something rows. Okay. Even though
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
lace, yeah, it's only 30
Yeah.
row. Okay. And definitely
Yeah.
you can make maybe two per skein. Uh
Yes, I believe it takes less than 40 grams. So yeah, you can make two per skein for sure.
that's definitely a good one skeiner or even have a skein project, if you have a
Exactly. Yeah.
leftover. Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, definitely have a lot of, and that's a good thing to use up your, what do you call, a lot of time when people travel, they like to pick up like, local
Yeah.
yarn and then just one or
Souvenir
two
yarn.
souvenir yarn.
Yeah,
So nice. Yeah,
for
so
sure.
definitely that's very nice. I have something lazy, and with the trend, people just tie it up around their neck. I love that style also. So when
Yeah.
it's cold or when I get sick and I want to just cover
Yeah,
my
you see
throat,
a little. Yeah.
it's very nice. Yeah.
Perfect for
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Oh, before we go to the next one, I also saw one of your pattern that is titled apple cider donuts. What is
Yes,
the?
that's
I
actually what
know.
I'm wearing.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I think I know the inspiration behind it, but go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. So this is one of my earlier garment designs, and it's just it's a drop shoulder cardigan. I don't know if you can see. It's
Yeah.
very long, but it's and it's just a waffle stitch, so it's kind of that nice
Nice.
textured stitch. And the color of the yarn that I chose for my sample is basically the color of an apple cider donut, which is very popular here in New England. Every fall, all the farms, all the shops are making apple cider donuts. So that's what, and at Rhinebeck, it's also a Rhinebeck thing as well. Yeah,
It
you
is
got to
a
get a cider
thing.
donut.
The line is always long. Yeah.
The line is always so long.
And then that makes you want to just buy a dozen right away because you would spend 40 minutes anyway, so might as well get.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that using worsted
Yes,
or?
this is sorry, my cat is in the way.
Oh, oh,
This is Ghost, by the way. Say hi,
hi
Ghost.
Ghost. Oh, I love Ghost color too.
Yeah, she's very pretty. She's a pretty kitty. Yes, this is a worsted weight wool. This is the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes,
Okay.
um, which is a very good, sturdy sort of workhorse yarn. So this sweater, I knit this maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, and it's still
Oh,
going strong. I wear it all the time, several times a week.
good to know.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very sturdy yarn, and it's fairly affordable as well for a 100% wool yarn. It's a very good price point. And so because this sweater was so long and because it was one of my first garments,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that affordability was factored in. So yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, that's what I'm working right now with.
Oh,
It's the
lovely.
tweed
The
one, but I
tweed.
I think that one is just not the tweed one that you use,
Yeah,
yeah?
this is just the regular, yeah. But
Uh,
the tweed one is really nice too. I love the tweed, yeah.
yeah, because I'm making sweaters for my nephew and niece, and
Oh,
they're
lovely.
11 and 8, and I'm
Okay,
like,
yeah.
all right, I heard a good things about the yarn, and I definitely want something sturdy, so nice.
Yeah, that's
um
really nice. They'll love that.
yeah, so that's good to know. You also have this pullover.
Hmm.
I guess this one is the off the grid.
Off the grid, yes. Yeah, so that is
Okay.
currently in testing.
Oh,
It's
nice.
yeah, it's I don't know if you can see super well on the photo, but if I get the sample here
Oh
closer, you
yeah.
can see it's got this sort of grid pattern going on, hence the name off the grid. Um, and that one is in the Imperial Yarn Denali, which is a 50% alpaca, 50% wool. So it's very
Ooh.
soft, very warm. And yes, I designed this one last winter, and I was going to try to release it in the spring, but then I ended up modifying the fit a little bit. Um, and so I didn't want to rush my testers. So I decided to push it off to release in the fall. So it is currently still in testing, and it will be released in the autumn.
Nice. So is that the suggestion for that fit to be 0 inch or zero ease or positive ease?
Yeah,
What is the preference for that?
it has just a couple of inches of positive ease, I believe like
Okay.
2 to 4 inches of
Okay.
positive ease. So there's a little bit of room. It's not, clinging
Right.
to
Not
you.
a lot. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But but the shape lends itself well to kind of playing with that. You could definitely, play around with a bit more ease and have sort of a roomier pullover if that's your preference.
Okay. Nice. Oh, the same question for your vest. Uh, I I already get a pen, but I forgot to really read the design background.
Hmm.
Was that also a couple inches
Yes,
ease suggestion?
yes.
Okay.
That one also has a couple inches of ease, and that I sort of was designing it in mind to wear more as a tank
W-
top or under
Right.
like a thin t-shirt. But if you're wanting to wear it, over a bulkier shirt or something like that, I would recommend going up a size to have a little bit more ease to
Yeah.
fit under. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun part about making your own stuff. You can make it however you want. I also saw a reel in your Instagram where you modify pants to fit, your body.
Yes.
Tell me more about that. Are you also a sewer or um
Yes, I do a little bit of sewing as well. I'm trying to get better at sewing so that I can eventually sew my own garments from scratch. But right now, I do a lot of thrifting. I'm very big on sustainability and slow fashion, so I buy a lot from thrift stores and like Poshmark and things like that. And often I find I'm very tall, and so things don't always fit me very well, and so I often find I have to modify things. And so yes, so with those pants in that reel, I was bringing the waist in a little bit because I have very wide hips but a smaller waist. So I usually have to modify the waist a little bit, pull it in.
yeah. No, that's really nice. Yeah, going back to the slow fashion and sustainable style,
Mhm.
how do you get to this topic? Is there is it your passion or is it, I don't know, your general preference?
Yeah, I actually, this is kind of a little known fact, but I actually studied climate science at university. So I have a
Oh,
degree in
oh,
environmental science and physics. And so I've always sort of been
oh,
passionate about sustainability and mitigating climate change and all of that. So, and learn as I became a designer and got more into fashion and style, I realized um, just how destructive the fast fashion industry is to the environment. And so I've been trying to move away from that as much as possible. And I do that through both thrifting, modifying my clothes, and also just making my own from scratch. It's one of the things I love about knitting is I can just make my own garments.
yeah. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of, I mean, you have been exposed to a lot of things in the fashion industry
Hmm.
by being a designer, and then it's nice to understand your or having your, your focus point as a designer, because then you have a clear, I guess, not guideline, but like where you want to go, and then people can expect, okay, that's
Yeah.
Jules style or Jules. Yeah, that's really nice. uh
Mhm.
and tell me a bit more about People and Planet. You put on your Instagram your some of the yeah, oh, you're donating to them. Is that a
Yes.
charity or like
Yes.
yeah?
So 5% of all of my sales, both pattern sales and everything else, goes to the Sunrise Movement, which is a political movement that is basically focused on um, reducing harm to the environment and the people who live here on planet Earth. they're very connected. I think a lot of people think of them as separate issues. You know, there's social justice, there's environmental justice, but they really are one and the same because the people who are most affected by environmental destruction and climate change are also the people who are the most ill-equipped to deal with it, right? People in the global south,
Mm,
and they're also the ones not causing most of it. It's us in the Western world who are causing the majority of the issues. And so I believe it's our responsibility to do as much as we can to mitigate that. And so Sunrise, oops, there's Ghost. Sunrise is a political campaign that
okay.
yeah, they support climate justice and social justice both.
Oh, very nice. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, that is an amazing I don't know. I feel like you're not just creating or it's again it's good to have a clear guideline on what you want your design or your work to be accepted as. um One question, how, because I guess the way I got involved with this tripod mall is through Gary Knits, Gary Writes. How
yeah.
how do you find this make-along or tripod mall events?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually found out about it through Gary as well. I had only just recently heard of him and his work, so
Ah,
that was really cool. And I am very plugged into the yeah, queer crafter space through Boston Fiber Company, so it's really nice to have other, a community of other queer crafters in person, but I think it's also super important to find those spaces online as well. Um, and so, yeah, when I heard that, I heard about this Pride Pod Mal. I wanted to be a part of it because I think that's really important to have spaces for us like that.
nice. Yeah, so this Boston Fiber Company, I definitely need to visit this next
You
time.
do, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
They have a little rug at the door that says I think it says the gayest place in town or something like that. So it's a
Okay.
good place for us. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Again, I was joking about going to P Town, stopping by at Boston, but yeah, I tried to go to P Town in the summer.
yeah.
And there's one year I was trying to Google, is there when I started knitting, because I started knitting, when pandemic started, and
Mm.
then and then there was actually a yarn store in that P Town, but I guess they closed it or something. I don't know if you heard
Yeah.
about that.
I don't know much about it, but yeah, I don't think
Okay.
it's around anymore, which is a
Yeah.
shame. Yeah, would be nice.
Yeah.
But
And also I ran to into a not a reunion, but like a knitting retreat
oh,
in
really?
during the I think it was a bear week in
Oh, nice.
Provincetown. It was interesting. So
That's so
next time,
funny.
yeah, I will definitely try to explore Boston more.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
which brings us to this one right here. This is so cute.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Tell us
these are
more
very
about this.
fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these are just yeah, mini pride hearts. I wanted something that was easy to make because I think I came up with this idea like in mid-June of last year or something. So I wanted something quick and easy to make for Pride, and so I came up with this little heart pattern that uses striping to create the different flags. And I also sell knitting kits as well around at local
Oh.
markets and stuff like that. So I made little kits for these hearts, which was really fun as well. Because then people didn't even have to for some of the hearts like the rainbow one you have to have 8 colors, which not everybody has all 8 colors of the rainbow in there. So I wanted to just create an easy little kit so that you have all the pieces you need. And there's also I knitted these 3 samples, but there in the pattern there's 4 more flag
Yeah.
stripes listed out. And you can also, I mean, it's a pretty easy, pretty straightforward chart, so you could easily do any flag you wanted. Yeah.
Is it using double pointed needle? Because it's
It's
really
either, yes, yeah, it's either double pointed needles or a very long circular for magic loop. I
okay.
always do magic loop myself because I lose double pointed needles if I try to use them. So I don't bother anymore. I just use the circular.
Yeah. Um, I I like double pointed needles. One time I was so extra. I don't know what I was thinking. Working on a travel project, use with the double pointed needle, and then one of the five needle. I dropped them in the plane. I'm like, okay, I need
I
to not
know.
be too extra sometimes.
They're easy to lose. They're easy to lose. Yeah.
I
But I
know.
know some people prefer them. So you can make this pattern on double pointed too.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Is this do you stuff it with something or
I
it's
didn't.
just
I
okay.
kept mine flat. I use the buy one as a little
Ooh.
pin. So I'll put a little
Uh-huh.
safety pin on the back and just put it on my clothes
Ah,
like that, which is fun.
it's actually good
The other,
size.
yeah, it's a good little like yeah pin size. I I've been using the other ones as Christmas ornaments. So I just tied a little
Ooh,
string on and use them as ornaments, and the trans one as well. But
that's a good idea.
you can stuff them if you want. I have a friend who um, stuffed theirs with a little bit of polyfill and then also some catnip for their cat, which is
Mm-hmm.
fun. I had another friend who stuffed hers with polyfill and lavender, dried lavender, to make a little sachet to put
Like
in your drawers. Yeah, a little. That was cool. Yeah, you could fill them with like rice or beans and make like a little like paperweight. Um, there's a lot you can do with it. There's a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
No, that and also as you mentioned or you have mentioned, it's a good way to use up your what do you call like
Oh, scrap
waste
yarn.
yarn,
Yeah.
scrap yarns.
Hmm.
So I
Absolutely.
I have this.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely I can find, like bright colors from this
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that will make a lot of that.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah. You could get a lot of hearts out of
yeah. So are you excited for this year's Rhinebeck? Are you planning or
that. Yes, I am. I am planning to go. I haven't booked my house or anything like that yet, but we
um
are planning to go. I'm very excited. It's one of my favorite events of the year, because not only is it such a great time to meet with the community and meet new people and hang out with your fiber friends, but I also just think like October in upstate New York is so beautiful.
oh, yes.
So yeah, it's just a really fun time. And this year, actually, I'm also collaborating again with Boston Fiber Company on
Ooh.
a little bandana pattern.
Okay.
So we're going to have a little knit along for this bandana, and we're going to. They're actually organizing a bus from Boston to Rhinebeck,
Okay.
and we're calling it, I believe, Camp BFC. It's going to have sort of a camp vibe with the bandana summer camp type thing. And yeah, we're all gonna get on this bus and head to Rhinebeck together with our bandanas. So it's gonna be fun.
I will keep in touch with you and I'll
Yes,
definitely check out the pattern. And do you also go to the satellite events or
I
mostly the
do.
Rhinebeck only?
Yes, I like to
Okay.
go. I like to go up either Friday morning or Thursday night. Even we might go up Thursday night this year, because I like to go to Indie Untangled. That's one of my favorite events. And um, yeah,
Okay.
I love how there's this whole extra thing that's grown up around the actual Rhinebeck Festival, the actual New York Sheep and Wool. I think it's really fun to sort of make a whole weekend out of it and just go all out and yeah.
Oh yeah. It's as you
Yeah,
mentioned, it's a perfect weather for this,
yeah,
and there's, just something in the air, like the smell, of
yes.
fall in the air. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. We'll go to India and Tangle also this time. We have 5 or 6 people now in the house.
Okay,
We got
nice.
our Airbnb. Yeah, yeah. We're lucky to get. Not. I guess it's in either Socrates or close to Rhinebeck for this year.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a great location. Yeah,
yeah, we're very excited for that.
yeah.
Yeah. So then one more question: Are you? So you said about the bandana, but are you releasing another pattern, just like your vest, so that you'll
Yeah,
meet your test knitters?
maybe. I hadn't thought too much about doing that yet, but
Okay.
perhaps I'll probably actually the off the grid pullover will probably be released um,
Okay.
probably in August or September. So maybe in time to knit it for Rhinebeck. I'm not sure yet. I have a couple other garment designs that I'm working on right now that I can't really talk about because they're for
Okay.
publications. So I'm kind of
Okay.
busy with that right now. But we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I might have a Rhinebeck garment pattern this year too.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
if I finish when I finish with my vest, I'll definitely try to find you and show
Yeah,
you how it is,
absolutely.
because
Oh
that
no,
will be
I would love that.
how Rhinebeck is. One year it's warm, one year it's cold, or one
That's
day,
actually, yes. That's
right?
why I did the vest because I figured people could wear it just on its own or they could wear it, yeah, a cardigan over it. It's a good layering piece. And you never know. You never know with Rhinebeck.
You
So,
never know. So, like, what you're wearing is the best idea. That the apple cider cardigan, it's
yeah,
perfect
have a
because you can
cardigan.
have. Right, you can have your thin t-shirt underneath, and then cardigan when it's cold, take it off. That's the best
Exactly.
suggestion with this.
Yeah.
So nice. So I guess you're working a lot for, you said, publication. Do you still knit for fun, or it's because when you're a designer, right? I'm sure you have
Yeah.
all booked, your schedule for your
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I do. I try to, if I can, I try to do just some purely fun knitting. I don't have as much time as I wish I did for that, but I am currently working on the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose.
Okay.
Um, it's like a, it's this blanket made up of all these garter squares, but you do one half of the square in one color and one half in another color. So I'm using a mini skein set and then an undyed yarn. So it'll have, half of the square will be color and then the other half will be like a creamy white color. Um, and then you just build the blanket square by square,
Yeah.
which is really fun. And I started that over Christmas. That was my Christmas break knitting project. And I have not touched it since Christmas. So
Oh,
I need to get back to that. But yeah, so that's my fun knitting project right now.
nice. But that's a good idea of using up your advent yarn, especially
Yes,
if you
yeah.
love the colors and you want to see it in a blanket. And blanket is, you see everything. I think I saw
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
in one of the YouTube channel. Oh,
Yeah.
Skein
It's a
podcast.
maybe. It was pretty
Yeah,
popular for a while there.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of podcasters knitting it.
It's on a diagonal, right? Like one is
Yeah, yeah. You knit them
uniform color.
diagonally.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. But yeah, definitely that requires a lot of time commitment,
It
or
is.
it is just
Yeah.
a growing. Oh, I mean, pick up whenever you have time type of projects. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
nice. Well, Jules, thank you so much
Yeah.
for this. And again, I would suggest people to, let me put it, your design. I mean, banner. I suggest
Yes.
people to check out Jules' Instagram. Jules' Instagram has all the information to the website and the pattern. If people are interested in any of the patterns that we have gone through to pick up for our make along in June, please go ahead. Again, I will have another interview in 2 weeks with yarn dyers. So if you find your pattern from Jules, you can next time yeah, I interviewed the makers. It's just an idea. So um
Absolutely.
also when we do the make along, I will give more information about the giveaway, but I suggest people to visit. And thanks so much,
Yeah.
Jules. I wish you
Yeah.
great success and
Thank
have a
you.
great weekend with whatever you have
Yeah.
planned for the weekend. I know the
Yeah.
weather I don't know about Boston, but here I feel like it's fall again.
I know it's a little chilly again, but that's okay. That's okay. I
Yeah,
have a lot of sweaters.
exactly. So, all right.
Yeah. Thank you
I
so much for having me. I really enjoyed being here with you.
Yes, and I can't wait to see you either in the Boston Fiber Company in the summer
Yeah.
or run into you at
At
Rhinebeck.
Rhinebeck. For sure, definitely. I can't wait.
Yes, until then, have a great weekend and talk to you
Yeah, you
soon.
too.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.